The media has been portraying a landscape of widespread fear and resentment and confusion, where our social institutions are very fragile.
Millions of people who, again, are U.S. citizens, are increasingly desperate and begging for help.
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
Today, I want to share the steps that we're taking to protect election integrity and make sure that Facebook is a force for good in democracy.
Increasingly, it seems like people lack even basic social skills. Like we don't even speak a common language anymore.
I dream of a country where people can be looked at by the character and not the color of your skin. You say you're not racist, but you want to divide people by black and white.
People are throwing around words like racist, bigot, and Nazi so loosely that those words don't even mean anything. Colleges have morphed from intellectual spaces to safe spaces, where students protest professors that might say something that could hurt their feelings.
Brown University, for example, they have Play-Doh and bubbles and tape recordings of puppy dogs. It's so infantilizing.
And in reaction, the vengeful free speech trolls have emerged, and they bask in the joy of triggering the most fragile students. Postmodern identity politics and other tribalisms have created greater resentment between social groups. The radical left has provoked a reactionary radical right.
America was, until this past generation, a white country. It is our creation. It is our inheritance.
Radical feminism has provoked radical anti-feminism, and groups like Men Going Their Own Way embrace a separation of the genders.
I'm reading face.
Did you hear that Donald Trump raised his voice while speaking to a woman? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, all of the men were petrified to speak to women anymore.
And allegations of sexual harassment and assault from colleges to corporations have only further widened the gender divide.
This level of criminal sexual predation is not something that I ever thought was going on.
Naturally vulnerable people are going to continue to be preyed upon, whether Harvey Weinstein goes to jail or not.
And rather than respect people as individuals, we increasingly lump them into their identity group, and then we judge them by their color, gender, sexual preference, or even who they voted for. Social media has taught us a new kind of social etiquette, one that doesn't require face-to-face communication, nor writing in coherent sentences. And when too many people are quick to react but slow to think, if they do at all, then any thoughtless tweet or fake news article can easily go viral. So these digital interactions have emboldened us to behave in ways that are rude and vile that we wouldn't dare do in person. And now those online trolls are leaving the safety of their keyboards and becoming repulsive and rude and often violent in person as well. And with conveniences like online dating apps, it's so much easier to swipe than it is to invest the effort in cultivating a real relationship. And that's why many younger generations can feel lonely despite the abundance of online engagement activity. So while technology progresses over time, our social behaviors can regress. And if our social skills are underdeveloped or they simply atrophy over time, then we can become vulnerable to all sorts of manipulators. Manipulators can do plenty of damage, and now with artificial intelligence, they can go even further at manipulating our perceptions.
He said, well, what harm could a deep intelligence in the network do? So, well, it could start a war by doing fake news and spoofing email accounts and fake press releases, and just by manipulating information. The pen is mightier than the sword.
And this is even more so in the age of big data. Now that we've gifted so much of our private information to these tech companies, they have access to our photos, know who our friends are, know where we've been, know what we've searched for, know what we talk about, and much, much more. So our former social norms have collapsed, making it essential that we develop our social intelligence. So what is social intelligence? Well, I define it as intelligence and creativity applied to social skills and systems. It encompasses agreeableness and sociability, but goes even further. Because if you master social skills, then you can get along with anyone. And if you understand social systems, then you can navigate complex social networks. This deeper understanding of human behaviors can allow you to perceive often invisible patterns that help you predict your social environments.
So we're talking about social intelligence. There's really two things we're talking about. Decoding, so spotting cues, spotting hidden emotions, decoding lies, and encoding. Encoding are the signals that you send out to others.
If you develop social intelligence, then you can make friends with anyone and avoid having to be lonely, because it helps you understand how people perceive others and how to gain trust.
Every person has a cipher. They have a set of values that you can solve about them, that if you turn it in the right ways, you can figure out how to figure out their motivations, how to figure out their values, how to speak to them so that they'll listen, how to make them feel loved.
Social intelligence also helps you avoid the horrors of the worst of modern dating, of extremist forms of feminism, and men going their own way.
A 31-year-old software engineer in China was tired of feeling the pressure to get married, so he built his own robot bride.
Social intelligence also helps you negotiate by finding out what other people want and finding a way to give it to them.
So there's two kinds of pieces of information that your counterpart, the other side, has that are really important to you. It's the stuff that they know is important to you and the stuff that they have no idea it's important, but it is. I don't know what you're hiding and you don't know what I'm hiding. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the space there that could be huge if we could just figure it out.
If you know what other people desire, feel, fear, then you can influence anyone.
There are only 6 universal principles of influence. Reciprocity, the desire of all of us to give back to someone who has given to us. Scarcity, the desire to have those things you can have less of. Commitment and consistency, the desire to be consistent with what we've already said or done. Social proof, the idea that people want to follow the lead of similar others. These principles are so fundamental, they're so psychologically central, that they strum strings that are inside all of us.
Social intelligence also helps you avoid becoming a prey to a master manipulator.
What I noticed last year was Trump had an influencer's tool set. He had the skills of a hypnotist, the skills of persuasion that I immediately said, bing, fairly early on last year, and said, that's not normal. What he's doing is technique that people don't understand. He is saying, how can I control the most energy? All right, so persuasion is about making somebody focus on your thing until they think it's important. Because the human brain is so dumb that it thinks whatever it pays attention to the most is the best.
In this machine age, people that hack humans are known as social engineers. These skilled manipulators can get people to perform actions or divulge confidential information to their detriment. All it takes is one data breach to destroy someone's carefully crafted social persona. And in the age of big data, when it comes to security, people are the weakest link, not technology. It's so much easier to hack a human than it is to hack the blockchain.
Who are you gonna call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address. I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry, I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me?
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this.
Social intelligence also helps you navigate public relations crises in this era when social media gossip can spread like wildfire.
Oftentimes, people get overwhelmed. You know, you get these social media reports and it says, you know, spike up in Twitter and you know, Facebook, and you know, it's the level of conversation that frightens people. But oftentimes I think what you want to focus on are the key influences. Like all conversation is not equal. What and who is driving the conversation?
Is it true that Monica Lewinsky was one of your clients?
Yes, it was.
And is that why in the very first episode, when she goes to confront, I think it was Amanda?
Why are you doing this to me? I'm a good person. You know who else was a good person? Monica Lewinsky. And she was telling the truth, but she still got destroyed.
I try to talk to Judy at least once for every episode because I always want to ground my work in the truth of what she does. So I will call Judy and say, what is it really like to go and discover a body at 3 in the morning? How does that feel? What does it smell like? What do you wear?
Because you have really done that.
Oh, I've done it. And then I'll say, Judy, where are you right now? I can't tell you that.
Social intelligence also ensures that machines will not make you obsolete in this age of automation. Machines will replace many jobs that require following explicit instructions, but they still need to be told what to do by people that have a deep understanding of human needs. So if you understand the social forces at play, then you can navigate any environment. You'll have the ability to make friends with anyone, to influence those with power, and to structure your social affairs to protect yourself against the unforeseen.